Baldur's Gate 3 is a role-playing masterpiece, the undisputed game of the year, where you'll meet friend phone food on your way to becoming the greatest kleptomaniac the world has ever seen. You'll face many encounters where violence is always an option, and often the solution. But I want to try and beat this game without ever dealing damage. That includes no shoving into a chasm, no doing, this,
I'll rip your spine up.
and no British habits in cutscenes. My character will be a wood elf, simply because they are a superior race. I'll start as a cleric for several reasons, and I'm a pacifist, so I'll choose the war domain. Because throwing an item counts as a weapon attack. With this domain I'll be able to fling 2 healing potions per turn. Gilmater is a god of the harmless and defenseless, so that's quite fitting. Now I need is charisma to say no to violence, and constitution in case there is violence. There is already a cleric in the story and the name is Shadowheart. Luckily I'm better with names. The story starts with a squid applying a gummy worm directly into my brain that allows me to receive and send Bluetooth signals. As a downside, I'm also hearing voices. After waking up aboard the regular Transavia flight, I first prevent some happy accidents. I then find a strange dog. Later, I meet this thing.
Hello there.
We exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control.
I didn't listen to the instructions and instead decided I'll simply run past the imps. They didn't seem to like that.
I'm coming for you!
Hells.
In the next room we find Shadowheart. However, we cannot free her during combat. Lucky for us, it appears they're at a dog shelter.
What the dog do?
This one's also hostile to the imps, so I defend it. I can't control it, so it may finish the fight for us.
Run, coward!
I can then free Shadowheart. She's racist to green people and that makes 2 of us. We enter the cockpit to speak to the manager of this flight, but it appears the Belgians are already doing that. I distract them with my adorable dog while the party runs forward to fly the plane ourselves. Along the way I also collect a fun souvenir.
Yoink!
After landing the plane safely,
I'm drunk now.
I find my sister again, as well as a sense of fashion. It appears there's only one way forward, and that is past some feral dogs that are not quite happy with us. Luckily, there's also a door we can lockpick that leads to I have no lockpicks. So, we stealthily sneak by the dogs. There was an attempt. Shadowheart can't run that far, so let her channel her inner dog whisperer. She now seems to be ignored and can flee from combat. In the meanwhile, I run towards another soon-to-be ally who will become involved in the fight.
Help me! Help me!
He does not care. Still, I eventually manage to escape and I meet a friendly wizard.
Give me your shoe.
We reunite with Shadowheart and recruit a totally another vampire.
Accept.
Then gain our 2nd level. For me it's time to heed my true calling and become a bard. If you're talking about supporting and more ways to resolve encounters, you are talking about the bard. This will be the class that level in for the remainder of this run. 4 characters makes a full troop, so we set out to explore the area. We find a temple and scare away some local bandits.
Well, in that case...
After quietly looting most of the place, we head north just in time for some scripted combat.
Open the bloody gate!
So here's the plan. We keep everyone alive on our side, so they can kill everyone on the other side.
That was the last. Open the gate!
Huh?
In the grove we are given a warm welcome.
And who the hell are you again?
Learn from the refugee leader that the local Druid leader is quite evil. This is confirmed and we hear about to kill a child, so we tell her to stop it.
Get some help.
We then borrow her personal letter that conveniently marks an evil rendezvous on our map.
What's this?
We also meet a healer to help us with a thing in our brain. She offers us lethal poison. At least the refugees are more peaceful as we deal with some rising tensions.
Move! You ain't gonna shoot me.
We then recruit a local bully named Will and send him to our camp.
A splendid plan.
Because we can only count to 4. Exploring further, we discover a gravely wounded druid surrounded by some goblins. Casting sleep on the goblins gives us time to help him, and he goes on a full rampage. In the last part of the grove we find a young tiefling who is lured by the singing of a harpy.
Listen.
He will surely walk to his death unless we stop him. I try to give the boy a wake-up call, but it doesn't work. That means we have to stop the singing itself. Gil, however, was also lured and is already downed. This wasn't going too well, so I had to reload. In the second attempt, I found out the Chauvigny harpy also did not work. The wizard was again fallen apart, and above all the tiefling refused to run farther than this.
Are you stupid or something?
It was time to move on towards the rendezvous. The first thing we see upon leaving the grove is a dying man.
You're a true soul. You can't die.
He could. We then reach level 3 as we approach the marked location. I become a better boss, while Gil and Shadowheart learn the spell Screw Them Over and you are screwed. Astarion also acquires some magic tricks so he can finally make himself useful in combat. After arriving it becomes clear that there are no druids, but still something is being guarded. So we let Astarion sneak around. Since he can now summon cats as a distraction, it should be simple enough to remain undetected. Well, at least we managed to find some intel, so we head back towards the grove. There we tell the druid leader what we now know.
What?
And it appears that the evil cult was hiding as rats this whole time.
Have you lost your mind?
Yes,
We tell her to stop being bad.
I belong to the shadows no longer.
She now joins us in the fight against her own cult and... of course. He'll be fine. With 8 against 3, this fight is trivial.
Audible Inc. presents Go the F to Sleep.
The Druids and the Tieflings are now grateful with us, but still require our help in dealing with another Goblin attack. That is indeed a matter of concern. However, with the use of a teleport scroll and by casting Shield, he eventually manages to get away and somehow reaches the camp in one piece. It seems our skeleton is not getting paid today. Now it's been a long journey so far, and it's time to hit the sack. However, I'm awoken at night by the vampire, who decided to show his true nature. I promptly decide to demote him to camp cleaner. The warlock is keen to join in his place if he can hunt a devil, so that's the first thing we'll be doing. After sneaking past some horrible places while avoiding combat, we eventually meet the devil.
One horn. The stink of Avernus. Advocatus diab...
Look into my eyes.
You really are no devil, are you?
It turns out she's not a devil, but a flaming teddy bear. She explains that she's being hunted by some so-called paladins, and makes it our problem. Alright then. I think of a masterful plan to lure them towards the neighboring Nostril fight with each other. But first, we disarm the leader. I said, we disarm the leader. 3rd time's the charm, and now we start running. This is going as planned, despite the paladin finding a new weapon, until it becomes clear that they are all teaming up on us. I don't think this should happen. I tried again, and with this in mind I bestow madness onto the leader. I said... Okay, he's now mad. That means he'll attack everyone until it ends, and they'll gladly return the favor. Maybe a bit too gladly. It seems the quest completes after only he is dead, so I'll take it as a win. Now it's time to help the Grove get rid of the imminent goblin threat. On the way towards the goblin camp we meet a bunch of ogres who turn out to be mercenaries.
Make me an offer.
Instead of eating us, we offer them to work for us.
A brilliant notion.
We then gain a horn to call them into combat when the time is right. We move on again.
Be cautious.
And just before entering the camp we get a terrible headache. It then becomes clear that Shadowheart secretly carries an artifact that prevents the voices from becoming louder. How that's good to elaborate, but she just can't look me in the eye anymore. We arrived at our destination, where we laugh at a feeble bard and make our way inside.
State your business. Now.
Later, after confabulating with a nice man, we soon learn from a prisoner that the goblins have captured a powerful healer. We indeed find him right after. The guard doesn't want to cooperate with me,
How
so it's time to hit him with a surprise wizard. The druid uses that opportunity to break out and immediately annihilates the kid.
Boss, you killed a child. Amazing.
The other one attempts to call backup, but we have brought the local bully with us. Thank you very much, Will. We then watch as the druid moves on to mass murder. At this point we are starting to question the meaning of pacifism. Anyway, we are examined by the druid who then tells us that he also cannot cure us. But, once Once we've done away with the leaders of the Goblins, he can still help us in other ways.
3 deaths could win us peace. The Drowmin Thara, the Hobgoblin Draw Ragslin, and that perversion of a priestess, Gut.
Sounds like a lot of fighting, but not by my hand.
We will keep close. When you are ready, sound the horn. Food? Food?
This is where the fun begins.
I can't move.
Enemy spotted.
Take that!
Some of you may die.
Get your ass up!
Eventually, we had to rest in between the battles to recover our spells. And that's when Will got very horny.
She's coming.
You're coming.
Sex.
I've fought one last battle in me.
Go crazy! Go stupid!
Oh no! Anyway. Hole in one!
A little help, please.
Now that we've brought peace to this place, it's time to wrap up any loose ends and head down towards the next area. Follow me underground the next time, where I'll be going through Amsterdam to find the managers of Bluetooth.